Nekias Duncan from Basketball News is here now. I just love that we got the two best defensive teams in the league meeting up in the finals. We got two similarly constructed teams in a lot of ways, similar styles of play. No coincidence. I know Steve Kerr has been around the block, but no coincidence that both Kerr and Ime Udoka are off of that Greg Popovich coaching tree. So I think we got a good one on our hands. I think we got a long one. I got Dubs in 7. Holly's got Celtics in 6. What say you, Nekias?
I also have the Celtics in 6.
Because
Why 6?
I say 6. Well, I think they can close it out in Boston this time. I think they'll actually win a home game. That would be key for them to do so. But no, I just believe in the defensive personnel more than anything. I think they are just so rangy, so switchable, so physical. If you zoom out the last 3 or 4 seasons, or even the last 5 seasons, like they've defended Golden State better than just about anyone during that stretch. And I'm kind of worried about Golden State from a turnover perspective. This is a team that has as elite as an offense as they can be. They have been humming ever since Jordan Poole came along. Steph, Clay, Jordan Poole on the court together. They basically set the Nets on fire. They can get lackadaisical with the ball. And if you're able to allow Boston to get out in transition, because they've had their own half-court issues too, but if they're able to get out in transition and then you're pulling the ball out the basket and you have to go against that defense, I just believe in Boston right now. I don't even think it's a slight to Golden State. I just think Boston's defense is that good.
So you've mentioned it, Holly's mentioned it, A. Sherrod's mentioned it, that even before Ime Udoka, the Celtics matched up well with the Warriors. So even though they haven't played yet, hopefully this makes sense, what adjustment do the Warriors have? What do they have in their back pocket to counter the Celtics that have given them trouble over the years?
I would say for Golden State, one is take care of the ball. Like, just have more possessions. They have the shooting. They have the star talent there. That's step 1, 2, and 3, honestly. As far as specific adjustments, like, I am keeping an eye on how they go at Robert Williams. One, we need to see how healthy he is, but also he's in a drop. He is not as keyed into defending some of the off-ball actions that Golden State runs. And they've been able to generate some pretty good looks against him in particular. And so if they are able to play him off the floor with some of those actions, get a bunch of open threes, and Boston is forced to downsize for Al Horford and Grant Williams, as opposed to that lineup kind of being the bonus to what they already do, then that's where it becomes a little tight for Boston.
You know, I would say this as a counter, and look, I'm not going to move off the pick unless something happens in the first 2 games of the series that makes me move off the pick, then I will adjust accordingly. But I'll say this, as a counter, Golden State has something that Boston hasn't seen throughout the playoffs. So think about it. You had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn, 2 elite scorers. And then in Milwaukee, Chris Middleton out. You go away from a 3 with Middleton, Giannis, and then Holiday, and just go down to Holiday and Giannis. And then Miami, it was a lot of Jimmy Butler, and where else are we going to get our points? Golden State has so many shooters, more shooters than Boston is seeing. How does Boston deal with so many guys who can score, not only attacking the basket, but can also make the three-point shot? How do you think they deal with that?
I think they kind of lean on what brought them there. Boston was the switchiest team in basketball this year, and they have the personnel to do so. So I think that takes away a lot of the gaps that Golden State creates off rip. And I think for Golden State is going to be, okay, what can we do after the initial action? Which, to their credit, they're probably the best team in basketball in finding things in like the last 10 seconds of the clock. You may defend their first pick and roll. You may defend their first off-ball action. Then it's Steph giving the ball up, relocating to the other corner, and now someone is a step late. That's 2 to him, and now someone's cutting to the basket. I think Boston is in tune with what Golden State wants to do and has been for quite some time. This is why they've defended them so well over the years. And I think the combination of switching, the physicality that they do those switches with, and just the general know-how of what Golden State wants to do, I think that puts them in pretty solid position.
All right, we're making pretty solid time here. Let me try to sneak in 2 questions, I think, if I may say so fittingly, about 2 teams that we thought were going to be here in the preseason. Celtics have 50-1 odds. Warriors, people liked them early on in the season, but still, we all know that a lot of people left their dynasty for dead. A lot of people thought it was going to be Lakers-Nets. Start with the Lakers. Talking about the Celtics, got to talk about the Lakers. Darvin Ham, not only did they give him 4 years, but apparently they're actually giving him room to be the head coach. What are your thoughts on the Lakers coaching hire and how much of a difference it will make absent a different roster next season?
I like it. Like, just aside from the terms, the fact that he actually has the room, allegedly anyway. We'll see what happens when the ball's rolled out. But as far as we know, he's actually going to be able to do things. He's built up quite a career as an assistant coach for himself. The reputation is pretty strong. From everything I've read, LeBron loves to hire, which is that might be the most important thing when trying to create goodwill in that locker room. So I'm down for it. The big question hovering over all this is going to be Russell Westbrook. Will he be on the team? And if so, how will he be used? And will he be okay with the way that he's going to be asked to be used? And I think Darvin's going to have a solid shot at establishing that relationship early. And we just have to see what happens from there.
And one other story that's percolating, I'm just curious if you see any fire to the Kyrie Irving smoke. First it was, the Nets ain't trying to get in that long-term deal. Now I think the latest, it was SNY, yes, I don't remember, Ian Begley was like, hey, sources say they're open to a sign and trade if he opts out and they can't agree on the right kind of deal. That they may end up moving him. Like, is there fire with this smoke?
I don't doubt at all that Brooklyn is hesitant to give Kyrie a 4 or 5 year deal, just based on what the last year and a half has been, just even beyond all the other stuff. If we just look at it from strictly his health and his availability, from like playing injuries, it's fine to question, like, do you want to give him 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
Once you add in all the other stuff and how this season in particular went, without question, it makes sense that they may not want to commit to that. And if that's the only thing that Kyrie Irving wants, then that's naturally going to lead to, okay, where does he go if Brooklyn isn't going to commit to him long term? And then zooming out, what does that mean for Kevin Durant if one of the biggest conditions, if not the main condition for him coming was, hey, I want Kyrie and DeAndre Jordan to come with me. So it makes sense. Like, I don't know if there's going to be any real movement on that front. Like, I think at worst, it's just going to be Kyrie opts into the player option. We just do this whole song and dance next year. But it does make sense that they had some hesitancy.
Nekias Duncan getting 30 points on 15 shots. So efficient.
How about that? Good stuff. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.